What's going on with Home Depot? Customers are reacting very unpleasantly. Home Depot took $79 from me for an item that I returned just 2 hours after bringing it home and realizing it was the wrong order. I would rather buy appliances at Costco with a 90-day return policy than a 48-hour policy. I absolutely refuse to buy anything with a 48-hour return policy. Home Depot has just implemented a new policy that has angered many people. When buying large appliances like refrigerators, washing machines, etc., you only have 48 hours to return them. And it sounds normal until you remember. Items like these are often delivered late, installed late, and sometimes you only discover the problem days later. In other words, you are no longer making a purchase, you are buying a gamble. And here's the scary part. Home Depot didn't do it for no reason. It happened at the same time as Lowe's and Walmart. So the question is this a new trend or a plan? Today we will talk about what is really happening, what Home Depot is actually doing, and why customers feel they are being legally trapped. Don't miss it. If you think the 48-hour return policy is just a small change on paper, then no, it's much bigger than that. Because Home Depot is not an ordinary store. This is a place where home repair enthusiasts, tradespeople, and DIYers consider it a familiar battleground. You walk in to buy a washing machine or refrigerator not just for fun. These are all items worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. Transporting them is a sweat. Installing them takes effort, and if they break, the whole family is left in shock. But now they say, 48 hours only? If you're late, it's on you. What does it sound like? It's like you buy a car, drive it out of the parking lot, and then they tell you have 2 days to find out if the car has a mechanical issue. Otherwise, tough luck. Does that sound reasonable? And what makes people angry is not just because it's short, but because it sends a very clear message. We don't want to bear the risk anymore. We are passing it on to you. Meanwhile, did you know that the USD retail industry will have $890 billion worth of returned goods in 2024? That number, if stacked with money, would probably be higher than several buildings in Manhattan. So, simply put, they are cutting their losses, and the customers are caught in the middle. Do you think the return policy affects your purchasing decisions? Would you dare buy appliances at Home Depot again? And wait, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because the real reason behind this 48-hour stunt is even more interesting. And it might make you even more frustrated. If you want to know what Home Depot is up to, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll move on to the next part here. Okay, now let's hit the nail on the head and drive customers crazy. Home Depot has just changed its return policy for major appliances, meaning items like refrigerators, washing machines, dryers, things you buy once with the hope of using them for 7 to 10 years to get your money's worth. And this change sounds simple. You only have 48 hours to return it. Yes, 2 days. Not 30 days, not 2 weeks, not a trial, and then decide. But it's more like, after you buy it, you have to be sure immediately. And Home Depot doesn't do this alone. Lowe's is doing the same. And Walmart is joining in too. Suddenly, all three giants simultaneously adopted the same policy, making people feel like customers are being cornered. What makes people angry is that real life doesn't run according to this 48-hour clock. You buy a 000 refrigerator and then wait for it to be delivered. Sometimes the delivery is delayed by 3 days. Sometimes they schedule the installation for another 2 days. Not to mention, some buyers haven't even had time to clear a spot for the fridge, plug it in, or put food inside before the return window is almost closed. To put it bluntly, this policy is like, you have the right to return it, as long as you discover the problem before you have a chance to discover the problem. And do you know what the funniest thing is? You can easily return a cheap item, but an expensive one that breaks is like running a tax deadline. Do you think 48 hours is fair? Or is this their way of saying, once it's sold, it's no longer their responsibility? And hold on, if you think this is just Home Depot cutting costs. The next part is what really matters. Why do they have to do this? And what are they afraid of? If you find the video relevant to your interests, please subscribe to the channel and I'll continue right here. There's one thing that I think most customers are wondering about. Why does Home Depot dare to play this 48-hour return game? It's not because they suddenly hate customers, but because returns are a bleeding wound for the entire retail industry. According to the National Retail Federation, in just 2024, the United States had approximately $890 billion worth of returned goods. Hearing $890 billion? Many people probably can't even imagine it. In everyday terms, that amount of money could buy an entire city if used to purchase average houses in the U.S. Or if you convert it to cash, you could cover the highway with zero bills like a carpet. And the funny thing is, returns don't generate profit. It creates hassle. You think when a customer returns an item, the staff just puts it back on the shelf and that's it. No, it's like you buy something, then have to return it to the warehouse, check it, repackage it, ship it back, sometimes sell it at a discount. And if something is scratched, it's considered trash. That means the store not only loses revenue, but also incurs additional handling costs. So when Home Depot looks at the pile of returned goods, they don't see customer service. They see a money pit. But what annoys people is that they don't handle it by selling better, controlling quality better, but by cutting your return rights. Meanwhile, Costco gives you up to 90 days to return an appliance. That means Costco says, go ahead and buy. If there's a problem, we'll take care of it. Home Depot says, buy it, but remember to watch the clock. Do you see the difference? One side sells products, the other side sells feelings of anxiety. And now the question is, if returns are so costly, why don't they tighten gradually, but instead tighten as if breaking a neck? The answer lies in the next part. Because what really keeps them up at night is not returns, but it's fraud. This is probably the ugliest part of this story. And honestly, after listening to it, you'll understand why Home Depot and Lowe's started cracking down on returns as if they were guarding a prison door. Because the problem isn't just that customers are returning a lot of goods, but that people are playing dirty. According to the National Retail Federation, as many as 93% of retailers frankly state that retail fraud and profiteering are a serious problem. That means almost the entire industry is complaining, like they're losing things if they don't tighten the rules, and cheating isn't the kind of petty theft involving a few isolated items. It's a well-organized game. One incident was recounted like this. A man went into Home Depot, took some circuit breakers, electrical circuit breakers, and stuffed them into a vanity cabinet bathroom. Vanity? Then he pushed the cabinet to the counter and bought it like a normal person. Doing this at 2 different stores, at least 3 times, resulted in the evaporation of nearly $10,000 worth of goods. So what? He put the circuit breaker online to sell, and the vanity cabinet came back a few days later to be returned, and I got a refund as if nothing had happened. It sounds like a dark comedy, but it actually happened. And this is why Home Depot started looking at customers in a way that anyone could be a potential suspect. But once businesses think that way, they no longer care whether you're a real buyer or a dirty player. They only see one thing: the return/exchange service is being exploited as a free ATM. But the annoying thing is this: to stop some scammers, they're blocking the way for legitimate shoppers. The person who gets the most punishment isn't the thief, but an ordinary person like you and me. Have you ever seen someone buy something, use it, and then return it? Or have you ever been looked like a criminal by an employee when you just wanted to return a defective item? And wait, it's even spicier, because after 48 hours, Home Depot will say, contact the manufacturer. And that was the real kick? If you want to hear that part, subscribe to the channel. The next part is when you understand who you're being pushed through. Now, the story will no longer be about paperwork policies, but about how you are abandoned after you have paid. With this 48-hour policy, Home Depot is basically saying, once you've bought it, you're on your own. In the first 2 days, if you discover the washing machine shakes like an earthquake, the refrigerator sounds like a plane taking off, or simply the wrong item was delivered, you might still have a chance to return to the store, but after the 3rd day, congratulations! You no longer work with Home Depot. At that time, you have to deal with the manufacturer. But anyone who has ever called for warranty service knows what it feels like. You sit holding the phone like you're holding a debt, listening to hold music for 45 minutes, then you're asked for the model number, serial number, invoice, purchase date, delivery date, and then they schedule a technician to come within 7 to 14 working days. In other words, you buy a 000 refrigerator to store food, but if it malfunctions, you have to live in a state of prayer for half a month. And the most ironic thing is, Home Depot still takes your money as usual. But when there's a problem with the product, they push you into a hotline maze that no one wants to enter. That's why customers feel betrayed, because you're not just buying a washing machine, you're buying peace of mind. You buy the feeling that if something happens, I can take it to the store, and they will handle it for me. Now they have cut that feeling. Think about it. If Home Depot doesn't want to stand behind the products they sell, then why should we trust them anymore? And if you think this is just Home Depot being more difficult, the next part will be even harsher. Household appliances nowadays are already less durable than before, and there's a very suspicious reason behind that. This is the part where many people will listen and think, "Oh, right, I've suspected it for a long time." The issue is not just that Home Depot is tightening returns. The bigger issue is, household appliances nowadays are really weak. In the past, when you bought a refrigerator, you could be sure it would last 15 to 20 years. And some families even used it until their children went to college without it breaking down. And now, according to the shared data, the average lifespan of a microwave is about 6 years, a dishwasher about 7 years, a refrigerator about 7 years, and a water heater around 15 years. It sounds funny. A refrigerator costing $500 to $2,000 has a lifespan equivalent to an old phone. Even American Home Shield says the average lifespan of many household appliances today is only about 10 to 15 years, whereas it used to be 20 to 30 years. This means the lifespan has been cut nearly in half. And the reason is not hard to guess. One is lighter materials, cheaper, easier to produce. Second, everything is smart now. Screens, sensors, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It looks modern, but the more electronics there are, the more things can break. But the most frustrating thing, which everyone is reluctant to mention, is planned obsolescence, simply put, making products just good enough to use, so that a few years later, you have to buy a new one. And when you combine this with the 48-hour return policy, you start to see the picture isn't so pretty anymore. Do you feel like household appliances are breaking down faster now? Or have you ever had an old appliance that was so durable it just wouldn't die? But Home Depot is not just tightening returns because of weak appliances. They are also being weighed down by another issue. The housing market is slowing down, and they are having to find every possible way to survive. Why is Home Depot doing this right now? Why not 5 years ago? But now? The answer lies in one very simple thing. The housing market is slowing down, and when housing slows down, Home Depot is suffocating. Home Depot makes the most money when people buy new homes, sell old homes, or remodel their homes. Because every time you move, you're buying all sorts of things. A new refrigerator, a new washing machine, new paint, new wood, new lights. To put it bluntly, Home Depot thrives on the times people demolish and rebuild their lives. But according to Home Depot's leadership, they are seeing consumer insecurity, rising living costs, fears of job loss, and especially high interest rates that are trapping many people in old loans. Anyone who has a low-interest mortgage doesn't want to sell their house in exchange for a new, higher-interest loan. As a result, the home market slowed down, and the demand for major home renovations also decreased. And Home Depot even had to lower its growth forecast for 2026, meaning they're bracing themselves for an unpleasant year. Home Depot is a large company with shareholders behind it, and it's pressured to grow every quarter. Can't increase sales by selling more. They increase the risk in other ways, tightening policies, reducing returns, and shifting the risk onto customers. You see, when the economy is tough, businesses don't tighten their belts first. They tie it right on your wallet. And wait, that's not all. Besides housing, Home Depot is also looking for ways to make money through other channels. And there's a special trick that makes many people just want to say, "Oh, so that's it." Did you think the 48-hour return policy was just to help Home Depot reduce costs? Partially true, but there's another reason that sounds even more frustrating. They're using this policy like a stick to push you toward your Home Depot credit card. To put it simply, normally you buy an application using a debit card or a regular Visa, and you only have 48 hours. But if you use a Home Depot store card, you naturally get extra privileges. The return window is longer. Suddenly, you're treated better, just because you sign an extra debt. What kind of sound does that sound like? It's like going into a restaurant. They give you a regular menu, but if you open your credit card right at your table, they'll bring out the delicious menu. And the great thing about this game is, they don't need to raise the product price. They just need to make the policy annoying enough for you to say to yourself, "Just open the card and you're done." But what do store cards make money from? Not by selling washing machines, by using interest and late payment fees, that is, making money from your late payments. There are many estimates suggesting that Home Depot could earn more than $1 billion from its own credit card business. $1 billion. That's not money from hammers, nails, or wood. That's money from fees and interest earned on their own customers. So, you understand why people are angry. The return policy suddenly ceased to be customer service. It became a test of loyalty. And if you thought that was tense enough, the next part touches on something far more sensitive: trust, privacy, and the cameras outside the Home Depot parking lot. Many people have recently discovered something quite annoying in some Home Depot parking lots. They've installed AI cameras that can read license plates. That sounds reasonable, because theft isn't uncommon in these kinds of shops. Anyone who's ever been to Home Depot has probably seen scenes of things and shelves being locked like a prison. But the problem is, there are reports that Home Depot shared that camera data with immigration enforcement. There were even reports of ICE appearing and conducting raids right in the Home Depot parking lot. Now think about it. Who does Home Depot sell its products to? Many of their customers were craftsmen, builders, and manual laborers. And as everyone knows, there are a lot of immigrants in this industry. So, if you were someone buying work materials, would you dare visit a place where you feel like your license plate is being scanned? That's what scares customers. It's not about losing money. It's about being followed. And that feeling is like going to buy some wood and being treated like a criminal. Home Depot could say they do that to fight crime. But customers think, am I here to make a purchase? Or am I walking into a data collection machine? And once trust is broken, even a discount is useless. Now the question is, if Home Depot is tightening return and exchange policies, forcing people to use cards, and raising privacy concerns, what other options do consumers have? The next part will be blunt. What you should do to avoid falling into traps. Buy safely and avoid risks like a real warlord. If you still want to buy applications at Home Depot or Lowe's, at least play a real-life game, not a trusting one, because with the 48-hour policy, you're no longer making purchases. You're buying a countdown timer along with it. Here are a few ways to avoid falling into the trap. 1. Take a picture of the return policy right at the time of purchase. It sounds a bit over the top, but sometimes today it says one thing. Tomorrow it corrects it in a different way. Just take a screenshot, keep the receipt, and keep the confirmation email. It's like taking a picture of your license plate after it's been swiped, just in case you need to argue. 2. Test within the first 24 hours. Don't let tomorrow calculate. The refrigerator is plugged in, the compressor sounds, and the temperature is checked. The washing machine is running a test load. The dryer should be tested according to the correct cycle. Don't wait until your clothes smell bad before you find out they're not working. 3. If you're buying something expensive, choose a place that gives you time to breathe. Costco offers up to 90 days with major applications. Meanwhile, Home Depot and Lowe's offer 48 hours. One side gives you time to live like a human being. The other forces you to live like you're running a deadline. 4. If the deadline is overdue, be prepared to work with the company immediately. Call warranty early, get the case number, keep the documents. Don't wait. because after 48 hours, the store will push you out of the game. Have you ever been involved in a return or exchange case where you were completely silent? Tell me about it in the comments. I'd probably have a lot of fun reading it. And at the end of the video, I'll conclude. Where exactly is Home Depot headed, and what customers should prepare for the coming year? And finally, here's what I want to say. Frankly, Home Depot doesn't just arbitrarily tighten returns, force customers to meet 48-hour deadlines, or shift the responsibility to the manufacturer. When the economy is tough, the housing market slows down, and revenue is squeezed. Corporations will always find ways to keep profits, and the first to be affected are usually ordinary customers. But the big question is Home Depot saving itself or burning through customer trust? Now it's your turn. Do you think the 48-hour policy is fair? Do you still buy refrigerators and washing machines at Home Depot/Lowe's? Or do you switch to Costco or a local store? And have you ever encountered an appliance that spoiled as quickly as promised? Comment is very detailed. I want to read about everyone's experiences. If you like this kind of straight-out, honest, no-color video, remember to click like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be doing more topics like what the big players are up to behind their clients' backs. And a small note, this video is for sharing perspectives and general information only, not for legal or financial advice. If you encounter a specific problem, please check the official policy at the store or consult a suitable professional. See you in the next video.